guys, it's Mrs. B. I'm going to be doing a demonstration for you. This is the first time that we're going to experience a flipped classroom. So I'm going to demonstrate a twist on fettuccine alfredo for you. So you've done fettuccine alfredo before, so you know all the basics. So this is going to be a little bit different than the recipe that we've done before. So pasta is already going. It'll be done in like 2 to 3 minutes, and I'm going to drain it. But I'm not going to cool it off because I'm going to use it right away. I have already prepared the Italian sausage, so there's the timer. So let me drain the pasta. Okay, and remember the pasta rule. It's 4 minutes, stir, 4 more minutes, stir, and then drain. If we're not using the pasta till the next day, you want to make sure that it's fully cool before you put it in the bag so that we stop the cooking process. But since we're using this right away, again, I'm not going to cool it, okay? So I've already prepared the Italian sausage, which is here draining. This is just regular Italian sausage, pork sausage, and casing, but you can use any kind of Italian sausage that you want. For those of you that want to stay away from pork, you can use chicken or turkey, but you need to be cautious of the casing. So casing typically is made from pork intestine. However, there are casings that are man-made, and they're made with collagen and other stuff, okay? So what you'll do is you'll take your sausage, and you're just going to take your knife, split the casing, and then flip the sausage out, and that's it's gonna end up looking like ground meat. And this is what the casing looks like when you're done. Okay, so I'm just going to put this away. I'm going to wash my hand. I have my bag here. This is for trash because we always want to keep our station neat and clean. Okay, so pasta, draining in the bowl. Come back to that later. Okay, so remember, after working with raw protein, always wash your hands, okay? So I'm gonna have my pan for my sauce going. So that's on medium heat. So I know how you guys love to crank up the heat, but we wanna use low to moderate heat on this. Once you have the cream in the pan, you can crank up the heat, but you've got to keep an eye on it because you don't want it to overflow, to bubble over in the pan. It will be a huge mess if you do, especially on the electric side of the classroom. So what I'm doing right now is just dabbing out any of the residual oil that I don't need, but I want to leave the fond in the pan because that fond equals flavor. Okay, so that's just oil going in the trash. Fond stays in the pan. So into the pan goes my cream. This is just heavy whipping cream, which is not the same as whipped cream. If you purchase whipped cream is already sweetened. The whipping cream is unsweetened. This is what you make whipped cream from. Okay, so that's gonna go in the pan. That's about a cup and a half, cup and a quarter. Garlic cloves goes in. It doesn't need to be chopped. We're just going to put it in whole. We're going to pull it out later. I'm going to put my cups here. I'm going to stack them. I'm going to add a little pepper, just this regular black pepper. And you guys know that I like the more rustic pepper. I don't like the super fine black pepper. You guys know I like a lot of pepper. So this is to your taste. Okay, so whatever you would like. I'm going to add crushed chili flakes. And again, this is to your taste. I should say to your team's taste. This is going to be a team decision, okay? I like spice. And I'm going to add some nutmeg. So remember, nutmeg is typically a baking spice, but when we're working with creams, spinach, or onion, we can also use nutmeg. Nutmeg is not something that you want to taste. It is a flavor enhancer like salt. Now, speaking of salt, here is my sea salt. You can use sea salt, kosher salt, or just regular table salt. I'm not going to add it yet. You guys remember why? Remember that when you add salt, the more a liquid reduces, the stronger the salt flavor becomes. So we want to add this at the end. Plus, the sausage is already salty and the Parmesan cheese is salty. So we want to hold off on that if we can. Okay? And then by the way, when I sauteed the sausage, I added just a little bit of olive oil just to prevent sticking. So I'll move that to there now. So I'm going to turn this up to high. And I'm going to cook this until al sec. So remember that al sec means what? If we think about Spanish, seco means dry. So al sec is our French terminology meaning until dry. So capital A-U, capital S-E-C, al sec. Okay, so this is going, and this is what we want to avoid. We don't want to let it boil over, so we got to keep it moving. If it starts bubbling away and you're feeling like you're out of control, then you just reduce the heat. Okay, so this is going to take some time, so I'm using my spatula to scrape up the fond. Remember that fond equals flavor. So then reminder too, we want to make sure that you don't burn your sausage using that high heat, because then what happens, you won't be able to use your fond and you won't have that flavor from the sausage in your sauce. Okay, so while I'm waiting, the ingredients that I'm going to use next, I'm just going to move them closer to my station. So this is getting a little cray-cray, so I'm going to remove it from the heat. And when it calms down, I'm just going to turn my flame down a little bit. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, and you guys should remember this from before, this is not a product that you want to walk away from. You want to keep your eye on this. Okay, so it's not quite al sec yet, but it is thickening up. So when I run my spatula through, now you can catch glimpses of the bottom of the pan, but you can see that that ravine closes up right away. So we know that our sauce is not ready yet. So we need to keep going. Want to be patient. You want to make sure that you don't stop too early, otherwise you're going to have runny sauce on your plate. And then also, as you're letting this thicken up, keep in mind that you're going to be adding spinach, and spinach has a lot of natural liquid, and it's going to thin out your sauce somewhat. If you go overboard and your sauce becomes too thick, keep in mind the spinach, but also keep in mind reserving some of that water from the pasta. You can add this, and it's not the same as diluting with regular water, because it has that flavor and the starch from the pasta that you made. Best case, just don't overcook your sauce. Okay, not quite there yet, but that ravine is staying open a little bit longer. We're going to keep this moving. Okay, and then once you get to this point, things kind of move kind of quickly, so just, you know, keep tabs on this, close tabs on this. Okay, and there we are. Just a couple seconds. This is al sec. Okay, from now, it's kind of a matter of preference if you want a little bit thicker, but I'm going to stop right here. So that's al sec, dry. Okay, so, all right, so I've turned the flame off. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is dish out the garlic, because nobody wants a big bite of garlic. Okay, it goes there. And then I'm going to add the spinach. So remember that spinach is very fluffy, and what it looks like a lot is not going to end up being a lot. So I'm going to put it in to the sauce with the flame off, and I'm going to incorporate the spinach. So now I'm adding the pasta to the sauce mixture. So pasta is still warm, so I'm just going to add this in. Okay. And I'm going to be careful not to add so much that the pan, I can't stir. Okay, so before I turn the flame back on, I am going to just kind of make sure the pasta is coated, and then I will kind of reheat. Okay, so now while I'm stirring this in, final details. I did a demonstration, yes. However, I did post your recipes for this dish on Edmodo. It is going to be your responsibility to log on to your Edmodo account, access your recipes, print them out. As a group, you will collaborate and decide who will fulfill which role. You need to make your list of mise en place so that you're ready for lab. If you have questions, please feel free to message me via Edmodo or ask me in class, but understand I do expect you to be ready for lab next Thursday. Okay, so now that our pasta is nice and coated, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the flame. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and grate in the Parmesan cheese. Okay, and I'm going to use large zester. Uh-oh, wrong side. Okay, and again, I will measure this out for you, but if you're making this on your own, it's to taste. Maybe you don't even like Parmesan cheese, so you don't have to add it. Okay, now remember that this pasta has starch in it, so it will thicken up your sauce, so you want to keep an eye on that. Don't let it thicken up too much. Okay, and that is it. That is your twist on fettuccine Alfredo. Okay guys, so one of the fun things about doing a video at home, a flip video, is that the things that I make, that I demonstrate, I get to eat. So my husband is actually doing the video. He's all excited because this is one of his favorite dishes. So I'm going to plate for you. Okay, so just remember that whatever dish you're using, it is like your picture frame, and pictures don't go out of the frame. Okay, and so remember that we've talked about, we like our portions to look generous. So if you want to do a smaller portion, you're going to use a smaller vessel. Okay, so do that. And then if we have made any mess, we want to take a paper towel or kitchen towel, and we just want to clean up the bowl a little bit, okay? And then you can also, if you would like, use one of the ingredients that you used in the dish, like chili flakes or pepper or fresh spinach leaves, extra Parmesan to garnish your dish if you would like. And that's it. Okay, so reminder, between now and next Thursday, it's your responsibility to log onto Edmodo, access your recipes. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to ask me in class or message me via Edmodo. It's your job to collaborate with your team and figure out who's going to fulfill which roles so that your lab is completed successfully. And that's it. Bye guys.